Greetings, it's Iain from RTO here. Welcome to Retro Ranking, and we look at more singles than we do our albums. And it's one of the what I've called the bad song series today. And today in the dock are the Beatles. Now, I've been brought up on the Beatles. I've been listening to the Beatles as long as I remember. I do like the Beatles. Made some great songs. But then they did make some howlers. So, and these are the songs that I'm not that bothered if they never appear on an album again. Okay, there may be ones in here that you like, but we can all like the same things. So, when you're in the comments, don't, I don't mean a bit of fun and banter, but keep it reasonable. If we all listened to the same and thought the same, life would be pretty boring. So here we go, 15 songs that I wish the Beatles had never recorded. So coming in at number 15 is from 2023. And for some god reason it got to number 1. And it's Now and Then. Now, there is a reason this was not put out when it was. Because it was rubbish. It's rubbish. I just... If people thought, the people that were saying when this came on, this is wonderful, you need to go and have your ears cleaned out. Because it is absolute rubbish. I must have been the only one that thought it was naff. Everyone else thought it was the best thing since sliced bread. It isn't. It's a terrible song. I don't believe that going finding outtakes on the clipping room floor is a good way. It was just a money spinning thing, and it's a terrible song. Okay, coming in at number 14, we go back to 1964 now, to the Beatles for Sale album, and their really bad version of Kansas City and Hey Hey Hey. At the end of the day, the Beatles weren't rock and rollers. They were a pop band in this thing. It's too weak to be rock and roll, and I just don't think, I just don't like Kansas City and Hey Hey. They struggle a bit, and I just don't like it. Never have, never will. Okay, at number 13, we're going to stay with Beatles for Sale and their awful version of rock and roll music. Oh dear. It's very amateurish. They're trying too hard, and I've heard a lot of better versions of this down the pub, to be quite honest. Even Quo did this as part of their Bye Bye Johnny thing, and that was brilliant because Rick sang it, but this is nah. Okay, coming in at number 12, 1963 with the Beatles, and it's another Chuck Berry song, and it's Roll Over Beethoven. There's only one version of this I like, and that's ELO's. This is even worse than Chuck Berry's. No, just don't do these sort of songs, Beatles. This is not your thing. Okay, coming in at number 11, we go to Revolver now. People are pulling their hair out. I can see everyone. From 1966. And I do not like Gotta Get Into My Life. What's that track doing on that album? Please. Got some great tracks on this. And then they put this trumpety, middle of the road garbage. Stop it. I don't want to hear this. This is more like Tony Christie than blooming Beatles. What's going on? Yeah, I don't like that track. Okay, number 10. 65 now. We go to Rubber Soul. What Goes On? Dearie me, what's going on here? You know, that's what the track is. I just don't like it. It's dribble, absolute rubbish. Always skip that track. I just don't like it. Okay, number 9. We're going to the debut album now. Please Please Me. And There's a Place. It's the worst track on their debut album. That harmonica and the sounds off key, the singing's off key. Yeah, I don't know if it just doesn't sound right. I mean, the rest of the album is decent, but this is the blip on the album for me. It just doesn't do nothing for me. Okay, this will upset a lot of people, but number 8 from 1968, The Beatles or the White Album, and the continuing story of Bungalow Bill. This is only here because it's got that awful singing from Yoko Ono. Who told her she could sing? What was her... Okay, she was married to John Lennon, but what was this? Bring Your Wife to Work Day? It's terrible. If it weren't for her singing on it, it'd be alright, but it's just vile. I don't like it. Okay, another controversial one now for number 7. We're going back to Revolver from 1966. And Tomorrow Never Ends. I know this album is experimental and it's got some great tracks on, but this just didn't work for me. The best version of this is Phil Collins. He took the song and cleaned it up and did it properly. It's just not for me, this song. Okay, number 6, 1967 and the Magical Mystery Tour album, and Blue Jay Way. What a dirge. It sounds like everyone's had enough, or they were influenced on something, they couldn't be bothered. Oh, we're going to do another track for this film. Nah. And it's just one of the worst things I ever did. Not the worst, but one of them. Okay, number 5. We go to 1968 now, and the Yellow Submarine album, Only in Northern Song. The only thing I like about this is the keyboard at the end, the last note, which means it's finished. Another load of dirge. Okay, number 4. We'll go back to the White Album, or Beatles, that was what it's supposed to be called. And Good Night. A filler track. There's so much filler on the White Album, and this is one of them. What's it doing on here? This should have been sung by someone like Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, or even Perry Como. Not the Beatles. Yes, I don't like that track. Coming in at number 3. We go back to Revolver now. And Love to You. Every time I hear this, I want to be sitting eating chicken jalfrezi and poppadoms. I don't want it on a Beatles album. I hate it. It's awful. Why did they let George do this? Nah, not for me. Coming in at number 2. 1967, Sgt. Pepper's. They let him did it again. With Without You. They weren't known for making really long tracks. And then they give him this to do. Oh dear. No one's this. I've always skipped this out there. I don't know anyone that likes this track. It's boring. It's... Yeah, don't want to hear it. But there's even one worse than that, and the number 1 it is, and I think everybody will know this. It's from the Beatles' White Album, Revolution, number 9. This is just 8 minutes worth waste of plastic. What the dickens was they thinking? Were they bored? Were they high? But it's absolutely rubbish. Again, I want to find out if there's anyone that actually likes this garbage. Just because it's done by the Beatles doesn't mean it's brilliant. Like, you know, every band makes naff records, and this is one of them. This has got to be one of the worst songs ever by anybody. It's just 8 minutes of garbage. So there we go. There's Beatles songs that really get under my skin, and I don't want to hear them ever again. And I always skip these tracks. I just don't like them. I'm sure you think I'm mad, and I'll have a lot of stick from a lot of Beatles fans that can't see them doing anything wrong, but unfortunately they do. I love doing these bad songs ones. Anyway, that's all for today. We'll be back tomorrow, and it's another June dozen, and we've got a great band tomorrow. One of the, I would say, one of the pioneers of prog. They don't get as much love. They're always just known for one song, and that's Procol Harum. But there was more to this band than a whiter shade of pale. That's what we are doing tomorrow. So have a good day. Enjoy the weather while you can. Bye for now.